My dear friends, today we celebrate the sixth Sunday of Easter in year A. In today's readings, we are reminded that even in moments of difficulty and uncertainty, God is actively at work, guiding His people and filling them with hope. We are invited to live our faith with courage, love, and openness to the Holy Spirit, who assures us that we are never alone. The first reading, taken from the book of Acts, takes place during a difficult moment in the early church. After the persecution that followed the death of Stephen, many believers were scattered from Jerusalem. Yet instead of stopping the mission, this scattering helped the gospel spread. Philip went to Samaria, a place where Jews and Samaritans had long-standing tensions, and boldly preached Christ. Surprisingly, the people listened, witnessed healings, and experienced freedom from evil. The result was great joy in that city. This passage shows that God can bring good even out of suffering. What seemed like a setback, the persecution, became an opportunity for growth. The gospel crossed boundaries of culture and hostility, reminding us that God's love is for everyone, not just a select group. Another important moment is when Peter and John come from Jerusalem to pray over the new believers so they may receive the Holy Spirit. Though they were baptized, the fullness of the Spirit comes through the laying on of hands. This highlights the unity of the church and the importance of apostolic authority. Faith is not meant to be lived alone. It is strengthened and completed within the community. Are we open to seeing God at work even in difficult situations? Sometimes we feel scattered, uncertain, or pushed out of our comfort zones. Yet, like Philip, we are called to carry Christ wherever we go. Do we seek the fullness of the Holy Spirit in our lives? Or do we remain at a surface level of faith? When we welcome Christ fully, joy follows, not just for us, but for everyone around us. The second reading, taken from 1 Peter, speaks to Christians who are facing misunderstanding and suffering for their faith. In the early church, believers often lived in a society that did not accept their values. This passage encourages them and us not to be afraid, but to remain firm in faith and gentle in witness. We find an interesting line in this reading. Always be ready to give an answer for the hope that is in you. This reminds us that our faith is not meant to be hidden, but we are called to share it with gentleness and reverence. Faith is not about arguing or forcing others to believe. It is about living in such a way that people notice something different: peace, hope, and love, and then being able to explain it. The passage also speaks about suffering for doing good. Sometimes, even when we try to do the right thing, we may be misunderstood or rejected. Peter tells us that it is better to suffer for doing good than for doing wrong. This gives meaning to our struggles. They unite us with Christ. Christ's suffering was not pointless. It brought salvation. In the same way, our small sacrifices, when offered with love, can bear fruit. Do others see hope in the way I live? When I speak about my faith, do I do so with kindness and respect? And when I face difficulties, do I see them as opportunities to grow closer to Christ? This passage invites us to live a faith that is both courageous and compassionate. strong in conviction, yet gentle in expression. We often see that when small children are dropped off at school, they begin to cry the moment their parents start to leave. They feel afraid and don't want to be separated. But then the parents gently assure them, comfort them, and promise to come back. With that assurance, the child slowly gains courage and goes in. In a similar way, Jesus speaks to his disciples in today's gospel passage taken from John, preparing them for a time when they will not see him physically, yet will never be alone. Jesus begins with a simple but powerful line, "If you love me, keep my commandments." Love for Jesus is not just about feelings or prayers. It is shown in action. To keep his commandments means to live as he taught, to love others, forgive, serve, and remain faithful. True love always expresses itself in concrete choices. Jesus then promises, "I will ask the Father and he will give you another advocate." This advocate is the Holy Spirit. The disciples were worried about Jesus leaving them, but he assures them that they will not be abandoned. "I will not leave you orphans." The Holy Spirit is God's continued presence among us, guiding, strengthening, and comforting us. Often we underestimate the work of the Holy Spirit. Many of us pray to the Father and to Jesus, but how often do we consciously turn to the Holy Spirit in daily decisions? We often reduce the Spirit only to visible signs like speaking in tongues. But the Spirit's work is much deeper and wider. The Holy Spirit gives wisdom in confusion, guidance in decisions, courage in fear, and peace in troubled moments. The Spirit helps us understand Jesus better and live his teachings daily. Jesus also speaks of a deep closeness. "You are in me and I am in you." This is a beautiful reminder that our relationship with God is not distant. God desires intimacy with us. Through the Holy Spirit, Jesus continues to live within us and walk with us. This passage invites us to reflect, do I love Jesus only in words or also in action? Do I trust the Holy Spirit to guide me? Do I live like someone who is not alone? Today's gospel reminds us that the Christian life is not about trying harder in our own strength. It is about loving Jesus, receiving the Spirit, and resting in the truth that we are God's children. This week, let us love Jesus not just in words but in action, and consciously invite the Holy Spirit to guide us each day. May God bless us all.